Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about the sixth semester BBA, Bangalore University, subject Strategic Management, unit number 1, Introduction to Strategic Management, session number 9, Nature of Business Ethics. I am Mujib Khan, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Kanakapura. Dear students, before going to study and discuss about the nature of business ethics, let us have a recap of what we have done in the last class. We had a discussion on the meaning and definition of ethics, business ethics, important principles, importance of business ethics, and then sources of business ethics. So today in this session we are going to discuss what are the nature, characteristic features of business ethics. You can see on the screen there are about 9 characteristic features and nature of business ethics. Let us discuss one by one. The first one is code of conduct. Code of conduct is one of the basic ethics of any business. Code of conduct tells us what to do and what not to do for the welfare of the society. That means to say that do only what is good for the society, don't do those things which are harmful to the society. So it is one of the basic nature of business ethics. Then the second one is it is based on moral and social values. It contains moral and social principles and rules for doing business. This includes self-control, consumer protection and welfare, services to the society, fair treatment to social groups, not to exploit others, etc. In the first point we had a discussion on code of conduct, which says that what to do and what not to do. Produce only the products which are good for the society. Avoid yourself in production of those goods and services which are not good for the society, like harmful to the society, like producing duplicate products, producing the products by putting the low quality ingredients, tobacco products, alcohol products. Though these products have the statutory warning, but again they have been produced and sold in the markets. In some societies they are prohibited, in some societies they are allowed, but in some societies they are not allowed. In some societies they are treated as good products, in some societies they are treated as they are not good, they are treated as bad products. So it is based on moral and social values, consumer protection and welfare. Protecting the interest of the consumer lies where? It lies in producing good quality products at the lower cost, at the lower prices, and supply them regularly, and keeping the ingredients quality up to the standard, up to the mark. Though we have got BIS, though we have got ISO, though we have got ISI, though we have got so many quality checking standards institutions, but still adulteration in the products, mixing of the products, some companies follow the practices of producing the products and services without meeting the standards laid down. Sometimes if the standards are okay, their selling and distribution policies are not good. Likewise, there are so many issues in a market like India. See, based on the moral and social values, is one of the base for business ethics. It is one of the important characteristics features of business ethics. Here it says fair treatment to social groups. Who are these social groups? Social groups may be workers, social groups may be consumers, social groups may be the suppliers, social groups may be the interested parties to the organization. Fair treatment to all. Business ethics says have a fair treatment to all, because if you have a fair treatment to all, fair treatment can be received at your end by all. So therefore, one of the important nature of business ethics is it is based on social values and morals. The third one is gives protection to social groups. As I told you, the social groups of the organization like consumers, employees, small businessmen, shareholders, creditors, they are all interested parties to the organization. Keeping in mind their well-being is the work of ethics. Giving protection to them is the work of ethics. Protecting the consumer means, as I told you, producing good quality products at lower economical rate and distributing them regularly, and producing the products which are needed by, which are demanded by the consumers. Then protecting the social groups like employees means giving them job with adequate security, giving them the health services, taking care of their working environment in a scientific way, like provision of proper ventilation facility, drinking water facility, air conditioning facility, lighting facility, because in some of the organizations all these facilities play important role to increase the morale and motivate the workers to work better. See, just seating arrangement, the scientific seating arrangement like ergonomics and keeping the very good pictures in and around sometimes increases the interest of workers to work in the working environment for more time, for longer time. They will not get stress. So in some of the organizations, lighting play a very important role, like the manufacturing units, manufacturing of wristwatches, for example. Wristwatch itself is a small component. Then again, the spare parts which are there, which are used to manufacture the wristwatch, again they are very tiny and minute. They are not visible easily. So to have a proper vision and to have a proper execution of work in manufacturing of these wristwatches or any tiny products, proper lighting is important. To make body healthy, ventilation is important. During hot climatic conditions, air conditioning is important. So to avoid any sort of diseases which arises out of drinking water, poor quality water, so providing proper quality drinking water is also an important ethical practice that needs to be followed. This is how we can give protection to social groups. So social groups here, as I told you, consumers, how best we can give them protection. Then the workers who are working in the organization, how best we can give them protection. Then, as I told you just now, that the shareholders, how we can give protection to shareholders. It is very simple. Follow the ethical practice of proper accountability, furnishing of books of accounts in a proper way, without window dressing, without falsification of financial data. The financial statements like trading account, profit and loss account, income statement, balance sheet, or any other financial information recorded should be published to the shareholders should be brought to notice that what is the total profit, the net profit company has earned in the last year, in the previous year, and what are their future plans, how much is the tax that they have paid to the government, and what is the rate of dividend that they are paying, and the type of dividend they are paying regularly or twice a year, or instead of dividends they are giving the bonus shares or scrip bonds, what type of dividend policy they adopt, what type of rate of dividend they are giving, return on investment, so that the shareholders will also be happy to know all these ethical practices, and they will move, okay, to they will have a mouth publicity. They can just inform others also to invest in the company, because the company follows good ethical practices of giving dividends regularly, and the organization publishes the financial information regularly. There is no window dressing, there is no falsification of financial information. They have not inflated the payments, they have not reduced the receipts. So all these aspects show that you are protecting the shareholders' interest, and you are following a policy of increasing the wealth of the shareholders by increasing the value of shares, by increasing the goodwill of the company in the minds of the general public. The general public will start buying the products and services manufactured by a company. By that way, what happens? More sales, more profits, and more dividends. And more dividend means more buying power to the shareholders, and more buying power means increase and maximization of wealth of the shareholders. This is what is required. Not to exploit others, like human resources, financial resources, material resources, not to exploit them. Whoever are relying upon a company and whoever are joined hands with the company to work day to day should be given proper respect, should be given proper security, should be given proper remuneration, should be given a proper job with adequate security. So then only you can avoid the exploitation. Sexual harassments, see, gender issues, stigma towards some community, stigma towards some gender, stigma towards seniority and juniority, complex of seniority and juniority, complex of experience and inexperience, complex of skillful and unskillful workers. All these things are important components when it comes to exploitation. So to avoid exploitation, all these things matters. See, when somebody is skillful, respect them. Not skillful, encourage them to develop the skills. Respect them. This is how we can have ethics in an organization, which are our social values, which are our moral, which are our what is called as basic tools to protect the social groups. Next one is voluntary. Business ethics is voluntary. See, you cannot enforce the business ethics by law, or you cannot enforce at the gunpoint that you follow this, otherwise I will shoot you. It is not like that. It should be voluntary. It should come from within. It should come from the religion. It should come from the culture. It should come from the law, but not enforceable by law. If you don't follow this, you will have to have this punishment. It should not be like that. It is not enforceable. It should not be enforceable by law. If good ethics are there, it can create wonders. What law cannot do, ethics can do. It can create wonders, definitely. It should come from within. See, law has its own role to play. If somebody manufactures and distributes the harmful product to society, law takes its own course of action. But a person who is into that particular seat, or the person who is manufacturing should realize that if I think that this is harmful for me, I should have the same feeling that this is harmful to others also who are going to use it. That is why I need not produce this. I don't want any profit out of this. So this realization, this feeling should come to the people who are into this field. It is voluntary and self-discipline. Self-discipline. So do only right good things, don't do bad things. Do what is right, don't do what is wrong. Very simple. The next one is requires education and guidance. So naturally, about business ethics, all businessmen should be given the proper education and guidance. Whether it is a small scale or large scale or medium scale enterprise, depending upon the nature or type of enterprise, every businessman should be given a proper guidance, a proper training, a proper counseling, a proper mentoring, a proper awareness about the various business ethics that should be followed in the day-to-day affairs of the business to keep the society healthy, to protect our society healthy, to protect the social groups healthy, to run the economic wheels of the country in the most ethical way. It is very much required. Who can do this? We cannot blame the government for everything. We cannot make responsible and accountable the government for everything. There are organizations in constitutional setup, associations which are meant for the trade, industry, commerce. They should be given the responsibility to create awareness among the budding entrepreneurs, the businessmen, about business ethics to be followed, like ASSOCHAM, like trade associations, Awake, district industry centers, large scale and small scale industries development corporations. They should come together, join hands with the government and educate, guide the businessmen about the various principles. Depending upon the type of business they are doing, give them the list of certain ethics to be followed. Ethics to be followed. So ethics requires education and guidance from responsible authorities. It's a relative term. The next one is, it's a relative term. It changes from one business to another business. As I told you earlier, when I was discussing about requires education and guidance, depending upon the business, you have to give them the list what they should follow and what they should not, what they should avoid, what are the do's and what are the don'ts. In the similar way, it is a relative term. What it applies to one business cannot be applied to another business. Hotel business is different from laptop business. Electronic gadgets business is different from eatery business. Entertainment business is different from recreational business. So businesses are different. Ethics will also be differ. Ethics will also differ. What is good in one country, in one culture, may not be good in other country and other culture, as I told you earlier. Manufacturing and selling of wine is accepted in some culture, but it is not accepted in some other culture. Banking is accepted in some culture as investment and return on investment, whereas in some culture it is considered as interest and it is prohibited, therefore they do not follow it. They have their own systems. Therefore, it is a relative term. It differs. It changes from one society to another, from one culture to another, from one country to another. The next one is, it is a new concept. See, it is a new concept. Business ethics is a new concept. Even newer concept is CSR, corporate social responsibility. It's a new concept. and it is followed at the maximum level by the developed countries, by the developed economies. Most of the developing and underdeveloped countries, they give less importance to business ethics. Even if they are given, it is regulated by the government, then only they give the importance. Otherwise, it doesn't comes out of natural phenomena. So it's a new concept. The long-term growth. See, business ethics are required for long-term growth when ethics laid down are good. Stability comes from moral support and moral principles. It takes into consideration all the partners or interested parties and try to satisfy all these interested parties, but provides a very good outcome, sustainable profit in the long run. It is always preferable to have business ethics for long term advantage. So one of the important nature of business ethics is it is long term in nature. It concentrates more on long term growth rather than short term profits. Once the ethics are fixed in the hearts, in the heads of the customers, naturally the hands will move to purchase, the hands will move to create a bond. So head, heart and hand coordination will develop for long term, a long term bond. Therefore, business ethics are long term in nature. They should be framed for long term purpose, not for short term purpose. Then comes reduces cost and risks. See, if any business follows do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs, company need not spend money to create education and awareness about this. If the employees have the ethics, if the employer has the ethics, if all the units and all the functional areas of the management and the people who are working around in that, the interested parties, everybody follows the do's and don'ts, the rights and wrongs, follow proper code of conduct in conducting the day-to-day affairs of their departments, day-to-day affairs of their business, management do not want any sort of financial resources to educate and create awareness about ethics. That is why it reduces cost and risk, because already the people know what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad. There won't be any risk in future, and more than that, it reduces the cost. So businessmen that recognizes the importance of ethics should spend less on protecting internal and external behavioral risks, especially when supported by sound governance system and independent research. Dear students, so far we have discussed the nature of business ethics. Now at the end of this session, I have given you some of the multiple choice questions. Try to study them, answer them. If you do not understand them, you feel free to call me, and try to collect more sources of information about the same topic from online and offline sources. Try to incorporate all those new things that you come across while studying or while watching this video. Try to increase the knowledge about this concept. Hope that you have understood this concept. In the next session, we will meet tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye.